I'm standing in a pawn shop in downtown Seattle staring at a glass case. Behind the smudged glass on a velvet display cushion is my father's watch, the Omega Seamaster 1968. The one he wore every single day for 40 years. The one he was wearing when he taught me to ride a bike, when he walked me down the aisle, when he held his first grandchild. The one he was buried without because my brother Trevor took it off his wrist at the funeral home. The price tag says $4,200. The pawn shop owner, a heavy-set man with reading glasses on a chain, looks at me. You interested? It's a beauty guy sold it to me 2 weeks ago, said it was his inheritance. 2 weeks my father has been dead for exactly 2 weeks. How much did you pay him? I ask. $1,800. Cash. My father's watch, the one he treasured, the one that meant everything. Sold for $1,800 by the son who couldn't be bothered to visit him in the hospital. I pull out my phone, open my email, find the message from Burke and Associates, my father's attorney. Subject estate of Leonard Chen, safety deposit box inventory. What Trevor doesn't know what he's about to find out is that the watch wasn't Dad's inheritance. It was a test and he failed spectacularly. My name is Nina Chen. I'm 38 years old, and if you're watching this, please subscribe to Echo of Justice Stories and let me know where you're watching from. To understand how I got here, to this pawn shop, to this moment of reckoning, I need to take you back 6 months. To the day my father was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer and asked me to help him with something important. I'm 38 years old, sitting in an oncologist's office with my father, Leonard Chen Hess, 72, retired electrical engineer, widowed for 8 years since my mother passed, lives alone in the house where I grew up. The doctor pulls up scans on her monitor, points to spots that shouldn't be there. Mr. Chen, the cancer is advanced, stage 4. It's metastasized to your liver and lymph nodes. My father nods slowly. Has the calmest person in the room treatment options, he asks. Chemotherapy could extend your time. But at this stage, we're talking months, not years. Quality of life becomes the priority. How long without treatment? 3 to 6 months. He looks at me. His expression is steady. I'd like some time to think about it. In the car, he's quiet. We drive for 10 minutes before he speaks. I'm not doing chemo. Dad, I watched your mother suffer through it for 2 years. I'm not doing that. But if it gives you more time to what? Be sick. I'd rather have 3 good months than 6 months feeling like death. I want to argue. But I know that, look, the decision is made. Okay, I say, then we make these 3 months count. He reaches over, pats my hand. Thank you, Nina. For understanding, we drive home in silence. That night, he calls a family meeting, me, my husband David, my brother Trevor, and Trevor's wife Melissa. We gather in Dad's living room, the same room where we opened Christmas presents as kids. Dad sits in his recliner, the one Mom bought him in. 2010, I have cancer, he says simply. Stage 4, I have a few months. Trevor's face goes white. What? How long have you known? Found out today? What are the doctors saying? What's the plan? There is no plan. I'm not doing treatment. Dad, you have to. I don't have to do anything. I'm 72 years old. I've had a good life. I'm not spending my last months in a hospital. Melissa dabs her eyes with a tissue. We're so sorry. Leonard Trevor looks shell-shocked. This is insane. You can't just give up. I'm not giving up. I'm choosing how I want to live, what's left. My father looks around the room. I'm telling you this because I need to get my affairs in order, and I need your help. Anything I say, I've already spoken to my lawyer. My will is updated. But there are some things I want to handle personally. Family things like what Trevor asks. My watch, we all look at the Omega on his wrist. He never takes it off. My father gave this to me when I graduated from engineering school. It's been on my wrist for 46 years. When I'm gone, I want you two to have it. Dad, don't talk like that. Trevor says, I'm dying. Trevor, we're going to talk like that. He looks at both of us. I haven't decided who gets the watch yet, but I want you both to know it means everything to me, more than the house, more than the savings. This watch is my legacy. Red flag number 1, the way Trevor's eyes linger on the watch, calculating, but I ignore it. because we're talking about our father dying, not his possessions. Over the next 3 months, I visit Dad 4 times a week, Monday and Thursday evenings, Saturday mornings, Sundays for dinner. I help him sort through paperwork, old tax returns, insurance documents, photos. We talk about Mom, about his childhood in Taiwan, about regrets and joys. Do you have regrets? I ask one Saturday. A few. I wish I'd spent more time with you kids when you were small. I worked too much. You provided for us, I did. But I missed things, baseball games, school plays. Your mother was at all of them. I was at the office. We understood. Did you? I think about it. Yeah, we did. He nods, satisfied. Trevor visits once a month, always on Sundays, always for exactly 1 hour. He brings takeout. We eat. He leaves. He never stays to help with the dishes. Never offers to take Dad to appointments, never asks what he needs. Dad notices. Of course he notices Trevor's busy, he says one evening. So am I, Dad. I have a job too, I know, but you make time. So could he? Dad doesn't argue. 2 months before Dad dies, he asks me to take him to his bank. I need to access my safety deposit box. What's in it? Important things I want to show you. At First Security Bank, the manager, a woman named Patricia, who's known my father for 30 years, leads us to the vault. Dad opens the box inside his and Mom's marriage certificate, both their naturalized citizenship papers, savings bonds dating back to the 1970s, a stack of letters tied with string, a small velvet box. He opens the velvet box. Inside is a ring, simple gold band with a small diamond. This was my mother's engagement ring, your grandmother's. I want you to have it, Dad. Not now when I'm gone, it's in my will. But I wanted you to see it, to know the story. He tells me about his mother, how she came to America with nothing, how his father worked 3 jobs to buy her this ring, how she wore it every day until she died. This is your inheritance, Nina. Not money, not the house. This, the stories, the history. Am crying. Trying not to failing. Does Trevor know about this? No. And am not telling him he wouldn't understand. Red flag number 2. The fact that Dad doesn't trust Trevor with this, but I don't push. 4 weeks before Dad dies, he calls me at 6:00 a.m. Nina, I need you to do something for me. Anything. Take my watch. Today, I don't want to wear it anymore. Why just trust me? I go over before work. He takes off the Omega, hands it to me. Keep this safe when I'm gone. I want you to decide who gets it, you or Trevor. Your choice, Dad. I can't make that decision. Yes, you can. You know what this watch means. You know what it represents. Give it to whoever will honor that. I take the watch. It's heavier than I expected. What will you wear? He smiles, pulls out a cheap Timex from his nightstand. This works fine. For the next 4 weeks, he wears a $20 watch. Nobody asks why. If you've ever watched a parent die slowly, you know this helplessness. You do anything to fix it, but you can't drop a comment. What's something you wish you'd said to someone before they were gone? Because I said everything I needed to, but my brother didn't, and he's going to live with that. My father dies on a Tuesday, March 14th, 2023, 4:17 a.m. hospice. Nurse calls me Ms. Chen. Your father passed peacefully about 20 minutes ago. Am there in 15 minutes. He's in his bed, peaceful. The cheap Timex still on his wrist. I hold his hand. It's already cold. I call Trevor at 5:00 a.m. Dad died. Silence. Then when about an hour ago, I'll be there in 30 minutes, he arrives in 45. Walks into the bedroom, looks at Dad. He looks small. Trevor says, yeah, we stand there. 2 siblings, 1 dead parent. A lifetime of differences between us. What do we do now? Trevor asks. Call the funeral home? Plan a service? Notify people? What about his stuff? His stuff. The house, the car, his accounts. We need to figure out what he had. My father has been dead for 2 hours and Trevor is already doing inventory. We'll deal with that after the funeral, I say quietly. I'm just being practical. You're being greedy. His face hardens. I have a right to know what I'm inheriting. He's not even cold yet. And avoiding the conversation won't make it easier. I walk out before I say something I can't take back. The funeral is Saturday. Small 40 people, Dad's co-workers from the engineering firm, church friends, neighbors. My kids, Trevor's kids. The service is at Morrison and Sons Funeral Home. Dad picked it out himself. Prepaid everything at the viewing. Trevor stands by the casket for a long time. I watch him from across the room. He is staring at Dad's wrist at the cheap Timex. His brow furrows. He looks around. Then when he thinks no one is watching, he leans in close. I know exactly what he's looking for. The Omega, after the service. Trevor corners me in the parking lot. Where's Dad's watch? Which watch? You know which one. The Omega? He always wore it. He stopped wearing it a month ago. Why he didn't say, where is it safe? Nina, that watch is worth money. We need to include it in the estate. The estate is being handled by Dad's lawyer. Everything will be divided according to his will. When do we meet with the lawyer? Next week, Tuesday at 2:00. It'll be there. He walks away without saying goodbye. That night, I get a call from Morrison & Sons, Ms. Chen. This is David Morrison. I'm calling about your father's personal effects. Yes, we released them to your brother earlier this evening. He showed ID and said he was handling the estate. My stomach drops. What effects? The clothing he was wearing, his wallet, the watch, the Timex, his wedding ring. Did he sign for them? Yes. Is there a problem? No, thank you for letting me know. I hang up. Trevor took Dad's things without asking me. Without telling me, I text him. Funeral home said you picked up Dad's belongings. His reply comes 30 minutes later. Yeah, figured I'd save you the trip. I'll bring them Tuesday. He doesn't. Tuesday 2:00 p.m. The law offices of Burke and Associates. Jonathan Burke is in his 60s, silver hair, kind eyes. He's been Dad's lawyer for 20 years. Trevor and I sit across from him. Melissa is with Trevor. David is with me. Jonathan opens a folder. Your father's estate is straightforward. The house valued at approximately $48,000. His savings and investment accounts totaling $22,000, his car worth maybe $8,000, a few personal items. How is it divided? Trevor asks. The house and half the financial assets go to Nina. The other half of the financial assets and the car go to Trevor. Trevor's jaw tightens. Why does she get the house? Because she's the one who took care of your father. He was very clear about that. I visited once a month, your father noted. While your sister was there 4 times a week, Trevor's face reddens. That's not fair. I have a job. So does your sister. Jonathan's voice is firm but not unkind. Your father made this decision. I advised him to be equitable and he felt this was. Trevor looks at me. You knew about this? No bullshit. I didn't. Dad never discussed the will with me. Jonathan continues. There are also specific bequests, personal items designated for each of you. Those are detailed here. He slides papers across the desk. I scan mine books, tools, photo albums, mom's engagement ring from the safety deposit box. Trevor scans the cheap Timex, Dad's old fishing gear, a workbench from the garage. What about the Omega? Trevor asks. The what? Dad's watch. The Omega Seamaster. It's not listed. Jonathan checks his notes. I don't have any record of an Omega watch. Your father's personal effects included a Timex, which is bequeathed to you. He had an Omega worth thousands. Jonathan looks at me. Nina, do you know anything about this? This is my moment. I could tell the truth, that Dad gave me the watch 4 weeks ago, that he told me to decide who deserves it. Or I could wait. I wait. I haven't seen the Omega in a while, I say. Technically true. Trevor stares at me. You're lying. Excuse me, you know where it is? Even if I did, it's not part of the estate if it's not in the will. It was Dad's. It should be included. If the watch isn't specifically mentioned and Nina doesn't have it as part of her bequest, then it's likely your father disposed of it before his death. Gave it to someone, sold it. It's his right to do so. Trevor stands up. This is bullshit. She's hiding assets. Mr. Chen, I'd be careful about accusations. She gets the house. She gets the ring. She probably has the watch. What do I get? A fucking Timex. You get $11,000 in a car. Jonathan says calmly. Many people would be grateful. Trevor storms out. Melissa follows David. Looks at me. Do you have the watch? Yes. Are you going to tell him eventually, when he stops acting like an entitled child? 3 days later, I get a text from a number I don't recognize. Is this Nina Chen? Yes. Who is this Eddie Nguyen I own? Pacific Pawn on 4th Street guy came in today trying to sell an Omega Seamaster, said it was his inheritance from his father. Name on the ID was Trevor Chen. You related, my blood goes cold. That's my brother. Why are you texting me? Watch has an inscription to Leonard with love, Dad 1977, did some Googling. Found Leonard Chen's obituary. You're listed as a survivor. Thought you should know before I buy it. How much is he asking? 2,000. I'll give him 1,800. I think fast. Don't buy it yet. Give me 2 hours. Clock's ticking. If someone else comes in with cash, I'm selling 2 hours. Please find 2 hours. I call David. Trevor has the Omega. What? How? I don't know, but he's trying to sell it. Didn't your dad give it to you? Yes, Trevor must have found it when he was going through Dad's house. That's theft. I know. I drive to Dad's house. Let myself in with my key. The house has been ransacked, not violently but thoroughly. Drawers open, closets emptied, Dad's desk torn apart. Trevor was looking for valuables, and he found the watch. I must have left it here in Dad's nightstand where I'd put it for safekeeping. Stupid, stupid, stupid. I drive to Pacific Pawn. Arrive in 43 minutes. The owner, Eddie, is exactly as I pictured. Older Vietnamese man, kind face you. Nina, yes, is my brother still here? No, he left. But he's coming back in an hour with the watch. He doesn't have it with him. Said he needed to get it from his car. I think he wanted to shop around. Make sure I'm offering fair price. Can I see it when he brings it? You want to buy it from him. I want to prove it's stolen. Eddie's eyebrows raised. Stolen from who? From me? My father gave it to me before he died. My brother took it from my father's house without permission. You have proof? No. But the watch shouldn't exist according to the estate documents, which means Dad gave it away before he died. To me, Eddie thinks for a moment. Tell you what, when he comes back, I'll buy it. You can buy it from me. Then you deal with your brother however you want. Why would you do that? Because I knew your father. He used to come in here, sold me some old tools few years back. Good man. If he wanted you to have the watch, you should have it. 90 minutes later, Trevor walks in. I am standing in the back corner, out of sight. He doesn't see me. He hands the watch to Eddie, the Omega. My father's watch, 1,800, right? Trevor says. Right. Eddie counts out the cash, $1,800 bills. Trevor takes it, smiles, leaves. I wait until his car pulls away. Then I walk to the counter. How much? I ask. Eddie, for you, 1,800, what I paid. I hand him my credit card. Thank you. Your brother's going to be pissed when he finds out, I know. 2 weeks later, I get another call from Jonathan Burke. Nina, I need you to come to the office. Something's come up regarding your father's estate. What I'd rather explain in person. Can you come today? I arrive at 4:00 p.m. Jonathan looks grim. Your father had a second safety deposit box. My heart stops. What? At a different bank, Columbia Credit Union. I just found out about it. The bank contacted me after they were notified of his death. What's in it? I don't know yet. I need you to be present when we open it. You're listed as co-holder on the box. When tomorrow, 10:00 a.m. The next morning, Columbia Credit Union. The manager leads us to the vault. Opens box number 347 inside stock certificates. 30 years of Microsoft, Apple, Amazon purchased in the 1990s. A handwritten letter addressed to me. Another letter addressed to Trevor. A smaller envelope labeled to be opened only if Trevor sells the watch. Jonathan pulls out the stock certificates. His eyes widen. Nina, do you know what these are worth? No. He does quick math on his phone, conservatively. 2 million, maybe more. I can't breathe. Your father was a very smart man. Jonathan says quietly. He hands me my letter. I open it with shaking hands. Dear Nina, if you're reading this, I'm gone. And knowing you, you're probably crying in some lawyer's office. Stop crying, I'm fine. I'm with your mother. The stocks in this box are yours, all of them. I never told you about them because I wanted to see what you'd do without the promise of money. Would you visit me because you loved me or because you wanted your inheritance? You visited because you loved me. You always have. The watch was a test. I gave it to you 4 weeks before I died. I told you to give it to whoever deserved it. If Trevor came to see me, spent time with me, showed me he cared about more than money, you'd give it to him. If he didn't, you'd keep it. Guessing you kept it? There's an envelope in here labeled for Trevor. Give it to him when he asks about the watch. Not before I love you, Nina. You were always the one who understood what mattered. Dad, I'm crying, can't stop. Jonathan hands me the envelope for Trevor. What do you want to do? I'll give it to him. When? Soon that evening, Trevor calls me. We need to talk about Dad's house. Okay, when can I start clearing it out? There's stuff I want. It's my house now, Trevor. You can't just take things. I'm not asking to take things. I'm asking for what's mine. You already took what wasn't yours. Silence. What's that supposed to mean? I know you sold the watch. More silence. I don't know what you're talking about. The Omega Trevor. You took it from Dad's house, sold it to a pawn shop for $1,800. That watch wasn't in the will because Dad gave it to me 4 weeks before he died. You stole it from me. You can't prove that. I don't have to prove it. I have the watch back. Bought it from Eddie at Pacific Pawn. He was very helpful. I can hear Trevor breathing hard. You can't do this. I didn't do anything. You did. You stole from me. Sold Dad's most precious possession for cash. 2 weeks after he died, I needed the money. No, you didn't. You just got $11,000 from the estate. That's not. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. Dad was right about you. Right about what? Come to Burke and Associates tomorrow, 2:00 p.m. I have something for you. I hang up. The next day, Jonathan's office, Trevor arrives at 2:00 sharp. Melissa isn't with him. He's alone. I hand him the envelope, the one labeled with his name. He opens it. Trevor, if you're reading this, you failed the test. I gave your sister my watch 4 weeks before I died. I told her to decide who deserved it, you or her. If you're reading this letter, it means you took the watch without permission, probably sold it, probably for far less than it's worth. That watch was worth $8,000 to the right buyer. You probably got $2,000 at most. Here's what you should know. That watch was never the inheritance that mattered. I have over $1 million in stocks in a safety deposit box. I'm leaving all of it to your sister. Not because I don't love you, I do, but because you never understood what mattered. You visited once a month. You never asked how I was. You never helped. You just waited for me to die so you could cash in. Your sister was there 4 times a week. She held my hand. She listened to my stories. She helped me die with dignity. She earned her inheritance. You didn't. I hope one day you understand the difference between value and worth. Dad, Trevor reads it twice. His face goes from white to red to purple. This is bullshit. Time, the presence, the showing up, that's what mattered to him, and it's what matters to me. People ask if I regret how things went with Trevor. Sometimes I wish he'd been different, wish he'd visited more, wish Dad hadn't felt the need to test him, but Dad knew. Parents always know. He knew who would show up and who wouldn't, and he planned accordingly. The lessons I learned. Inheritance isn't about money, it's about values. What you pass down matters more than what you leave behind. People show you who they are in crisis, death, illness, money. These things reveal character. Showing up is a choice. Everyone's busy, everyone's tired, but some people show up anyway. Tests aren't always obvious. Sometimes the real test is how you act when you think no one's keeping score. Worth and value aren't the same thing. The watch was worth $8,000, but what it represented was priceless. If you're watching this and you have a parent who's aging, who needs help, who won't be here forever, go see them. Not because there might be an inheritance, because there definitely won't be enough time. My father gave me $1 million, but the real inheritance was the time I spent with him. The conversations, the stories, the quiet moments. You can't sell those. You can't steal them. You can only be present for them. That's my story. Now I have a question for you. If someone tested your character when you thought no one was watching, would you pass? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story reminded you that how you treat people in their final days matters more than what they leave, you share it with someone who needs to hear it. Check the description for more stories like this from Echo of Justice Stories. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Your inheritance isn't in a safety deposit box. It's in the time you spend while you still have it. Don't waste it.